So it was about 5,000 years ago where love was first experienced on this planet. That was a pretty radical statement. Even it took Schomburg by surprise at first, like, what? I thought love has always been. No. It came from this planet. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, there's other civilizations, I guess you could call them, other multi-dimensional realities. They're not even close to love. I have no concept. Some other places have learned from Earth. I'm trying to bring love back there. Number one most popular class being taught on the New Earths, many of them now, New Earths, most popular class to the angelic beings who never have come here yet, is love. It's the most basic class. Kind of starts there. It starts with an acknowledgement of what took place on this planet 5,000 years ago. Love. Spirit didn't know about love. The I am. I did not hear that. The I am did not know about love. It had to be experienced by the human. And when love was first experienced, there was one person, and it was a woman. It was a woman, obviously. That's where it started. Now, the dynamics of love, the consciousness, energies of love, were starting to spread across the planet, but it hadn't been solidified into an experience, into love. But then one person, and then another, and another. And pretty soon, in just a matter of a few centuries, the whole concept of love was starting to spread across the planet. It's not like everybody got it right away. Not at all. But the whole foundation for love was there. And, in those first experiences of love, in the first 100, first 1,000, it was all women. Probably in the first 100,000, all women that experienced it. It was about 400 years later when the first man experienced it. Interesting. Can you imagine let's say you were one of the early women to have experienced love? And it could have been love for your partner, for your children, for Earth, it doesn't matter, it was just love. And could you imagine going to your partner and saying, "Do you love me?" He's like, "I don't know, what's love?" "But do you love me?" I'm not sure what you're talking about." Love, this feeling. And the guy's like, "I have no clue what she's talking about." So it was kind of awkward back then. But then love started to spread across the planet. One more time, and you're going out the door. Whoever's phone is that, turn it off now. I really can you believe it? In this setting, in this energy? Whew. Okay, so love, where were we? Love. So, as women were starting to experience love across the planet, supported in a very big way by Isis, by the feminine energy. Isis is the feminine energy, but it's also you could say, organized in the other realms. The Order of Isis, the feminine energy. And here we have women all across the planet starting to experience love. There's a little bit of a concern in the other realms. What about the guys? What's going to... Thank you. What about the guys, the men? So some of us got together in the other realms and said, in order for this whole thing to work out, the men are going to have to experience love. And, men by nature, if you went and asked a man on the earth back then, say, hey, you want to experience love? I said, nah, not interested in that stuff. We knew in the other realms, though, to make this all work, to evolve this planet of love, that, the men were going to have to become aware of it, have to open to it and allow it. So we formed a little group. It's called the Council of the Holy Brothers, also known as Saint Brotherhood. Council of the Holy Brothers. And it was a bunch of us saintly types that got together, where we had a little bit more of a, we're gender neutral in the other realms, but we'd had more past lives as men and we kind of understood it. So we gathered together under this order. By the way, the name Saint Germain, which I took on in my last lifetime, Saint Germain literally means holy brother. I derived my name from this order, this council of the Holy Brothers. Our job was to connect our energies with those on earth who are ready, males, men, to help them open to the experience of love. Not an easy task. Not an easy task. But our job was to help facilitate those energies. In order for love to move forward, it couldn't just remain within Isis. It had to also leap over to Adam. Adam, where I get my name, Adamus. Now you know. So we organized, and for the very purpose of facilitating, making it easier for the male species on the planet to open to love. It was quite a different reaction than the feminine love. The feminine experience of love, you could say, was very soft, gentle, passionate, very, very caring. When the first males on the planet started to experience love, it was like crazy time at the zoo. They didn't know how to handle it. And suddenly they found themselves crying all the time. And suddenly they found themselves trying to run. There was something that came over them that the Adam energy really didn't understand. This thing called love. They hadn't been exposed to this kind of tenderness. They hadn't opened their hearts up. But yet now it was starting to happen one by one, little by little, where the males were starting to feel this love. And then, can you imagine a woman who knew of love now meeting a man who was allowing the experience of love coming together? Isis and Adam coming together. It was remarkable. There's no real understanding of this in history. And some would simply scoff at the fact that love was so new on the planet. But if you really go back into history, there wasn't love, 6,000, 7,000 years ago? It wasn't even a word for love in terms of honoring God. Those words were written a lot later, and they used the word love, but it was not known then. There was no real love marriages. All marriages back then were arranged. There were marriages of convenience, marriages of combining powers, or marriages of simply for the money. How much dowry? That's not love. How much dowry do you get for taking this, my daughter off my hands? How much do you want? That's what it used to be like. Until love came along. And then came Yeshua, some 2,000 years ago, birthed by Mary for the very purpose of now spreading the word of love, spreading that light. It took 3,000 years for love to really take hold on this planet, for people to start experiencing it, and now Yeshua was here to spread the word of love. That was the single role, a role that each and every one of you participated in, because Yeshua was a collective being. As this whole experience of love started to change the planet, literally, I mean, that was radical imagination. The very experience of love, because it was not known. Yes, there was affection and friendship, and there were obligations to family and to country and things like that, but love, no. That was radical imagination. Somebody opened up enough people opened up enough that it became so. The women that first experienced love, we came up with a name for them in our boys' club in the Saint Brotherhood. And that name was Mary. They were called Marys. Mary derived from a very ancient Egyptian word, mir, M-Y-R, which eventually became defined as the translated word, beloved. So many of you have gone by the name of Mary, whether you carry it in this lifetime or other lifetimes, or have had it as a title. It is more than anything a title. In some of the other translations of the word, the name Mary, Marit, Miriam, there's quite a few that mean the same thing, Marie. And one of the translations into ancient language is also Lord. Lord, not meaning like as in a landlord, but a Lord, one who defines their own energy, their own self, Lord. The original name of what you now know as Mother Mary, the one who gave birth to Yeshua, was not Mary. She had a different name, but she eventually became called Mary in her lifetime, shortly after the birth of Yeshua, and then biblically was called Mary. And you know many other Marys, Mary Magdalene, many, many others along the way. This whole time, this loosely organized Saint Brotherhood has been there to help bridge the gap between Adam and Isis, between masculine love and feminine love. That's been the role of this group. Most Shaumbra men in this lifetime are somehow affiliated with that group. That's one of the reasons you're here. You're affiliated with that Saint Brotherhood, the Holy Brothers. Its one job is to help facilitate love within Adam. Women, you got Isis, and you don't actually need a whole lot of help. You get love. Men, they have it a little tougher. And the whole reason for bringing this up now is to help you get a little better understanding of how this thing of love came to earth. What's happening now as we go into Love 2.0. Isn't it interesting also, the English word marry, like to marry somebody? That's exactly what the man was doing. He was becoming Mary. It came to be the word used to define a legal relationship, but it's being married, allowing the marriage, the marry within self. And why I wanted to bring this up today at the beginning of the new year was that Mary, the Lord, the love, the feminine energy is going to be so important this year. To be able to have radical imagination and to allow truth within yourself to come up. This archetypical energy of Mary, that so many of you identified with it. So many of you identify strongly with Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene. But it's Mary, M-A-R-Y, Mary. It's the ones who first experienced the consciousness of love. We called them Mary, or Mir, M-Y-R, the beloveds. This is going to be a fast year, a challenging year in so many ways, everything changing quickly. And there are no better archetypical energies to come in right now to bring the light in and let it radiate than Mary, even for men. Men, you now have permission to be Mary. Let's take a deep breath with that as we call that in, as we call Mary in this year. And yes, you might think of it as Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, or any of the other Marys, but go back to the core of finding love. Radical stuff. It was so radical that there weren't beings in other planets that had discovered it. It hadn't been around since the beginning of God. It had never been done. That is radical. Never been done. Let's allow Mary. It's funny too, the word Mary as in happy, all interconnected. Let's allow in Mary. Some of you have been doing it already before we even did this shout. Some of you had sudden thoughts of Mary, identifications with Mary. Let's allow that in right now. Mary, and not the person, but Mary, that consciousness, allows the light to shine in a different way. It allows the imagination to open in a different way. Why? Because it's all love-based. It allows the transformation into Love 2.0. And men, gentlemen, I ask you to allow that within yourself as well. It's not just a feminine thing. It's actually the very thing that marries the Adam and the Isis together within you. It creates that holy union. This is what we want to bring in for this year. A guiding force, a radical imagination, a love-based consciousness. Instead of battles this year, instead of constant mind struggles and battles and seeming that it's a never-ending fights and challenges all the way along, let's open up to Mary. It's not just love like was experienced 5,000 years ago. It's opened, it's matured, it's developed. It's become very, very wise. It's also going to be the thing the very thing that helps you to connect with your truth. And the truth isn't defined as Mary, but it will help you realize your truth. Mary is the essence of love. Mary is an open consciousness. Let's take a good deep breath. As we marry Isis and Adam, as we marry human and divine, as we marry the past, the present, and the future, as we marry human intelligence and divine imagination. And what we're really doing is bringing the element of love, and compassion, and acceptance into every one of these things. Let's marry to the earth, especially as Gaia is slowly on her way out. Marry to the core, to the essence of the earth, married to the magical kingdoms of earth. You see, it's a type of essence that brings things together in harmony. And right now it's just time to allow that. Mary, a word that goes a long ways back to mirror, and eventually given the meaning, the beloved. And you know, it's one thing that's already within you. Now it's time to let it marry into your everyday life. We'll continue the Holy Brotherhood for a while. There's a lot of men that still just don't get it. Yes, we're here to serve men, but in honor of Isis, not just a boys' club. Every part of this Holy Brotherhood, the work we do, is in honor to Isis, to the feminine who first experienced love, in honor to Mary, and to protecting Mary. So, dear Shaumbra, deep breath as we marry ourselves. Good deep breath. And right about now, you should be getting very excited about radical imagination and coming to your truth. Let's take a good deep breath here together on our fourth day of the Holy Year 2025. With breakthroughs in things like energy, free energy. It's not just a dream anymore. The metaphysics of free energy, really quite simple, was being married to this planet, to humanity. This year where quantum computing allows everything to go at warp speed. And all this time, you marrying to yourself. All based in love. For what greater consciousness can there be than love?